Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're out here with Shadowfax, and apparently he has a passenger today. And he's very dirty. That's life with a mini horse, by the way, especially light-colored mini horses. You're going to get one. This was going to happen to you every day. You're going to brush them and they're going to end up like this. But we're not here to talk about how dirty Shadowfax is. We're not even here to talk about how Arwen is cuddling a bunch of chickens over there. It's cute, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about dental care for your horse again. Today we're going to talk about floating, which is basically, Jake, hi. But it's basically just taking care of your horse's teeth. So on a horse, the upper jaw is wider than the lower jaw. That means the outside edge of the upper teeth and the inside edge of the lower teeth don't really wear down evenly all the time. Okay, it can get to the point where you get little edges and little points that can cut the tongue and cheek. Some of the teeth, especially at the back, end up with these little hooks that can cut into the cheek, and it's really not a lot of fun for the poor horse. So you definitely need to take care of that. Teeth that are left unattended, so if you get little points and little hooks on the teeth and you're not looking after them, you're not having them taken care of, they can cause discomfort while eating, and the horse may eventually stop eating, which leads to weight loss, which means your pony gets sick. It's just the way it is. So you have to address teeth problems as fast as you can. If a tooth is lost, the opposing tooth still keeps growing, and it makes it difficult for the horse to chew. So again, if you have a tooth that is lost on your horse, you're going to have even more frequent dental care. So floating is basically leveling out the teeth. It's usually done with just files, so he's never had to have what they call a power float, which is basically a power tool that is a file. But he's never had to have the power float. He's only had to have his teeth floated once, and he's 6. So some horses have to have them done all the time. Some horses rarely need it. In his 6 years, he has 6.5 now. He's only had to have his teeth floated once. Okay, so we've been relatively lucky. Some horses, it's a lot. So if your horse has an ongoing dental issue, you're going to find that you need to do it even more often. Hopefully you don't have to do it often. It's not fun for the pony, but it has to be done when it has to be done. It needs to be done carefully by a professional. This is not something where you should go grab a file and just start hacking away at your horse's teeth. Okay, don't do that. Get a professional. That's what you need. And you have to, if your horse is really bad and needs a lot of dental care at once, you actually have to do it in stages, because you have to remember that inside the teeth is pulp. And so you can only take off a little bit of the tooth, and then you have to wait for that pulp to recede, and then you need to come back and do it again until you're finished. So you have to file the teeth, wait for the pulp to recede, file the teeth again, wait for the pulp to recede, and you have to do that over and over and over again until you your horse can basically chew properly. Okay, it can take a few visits. You also have to realize that horses have a limited amount of tooth available. So even though the teeth grow throughout their lives, there is a limit. Okay, they reach kind of, this is it, this tooth isn't going to grow anymore. So if you get too crazy with the dental care and you overdo it, you can end up in a position where the horse could lose that tooth, and then usually losing a tooth can shorten the horse's life. So you really do need a professional. Aggressive reductions do more harm than good. So you're going to use either a vet or an equine dentist. In your area, it may not even be a decision that you have to make, because you might have laws in place that only allow veterinarians to do dental care. But if you live in an area where you get to choose between a vet and an equine dentist, I am going to tell you to pick the vet. Not because I have anything against equine dentists, but equine dentists are not subject to the same regulations as vets. They don't have to undergo the same training, so they may not be as good at it as your vet is. And if there's a complication, like the horse needs sedation, which if you're dealing with those back teeth and you're getting those hooks off the back teeth, they usually need sedation. An equine dentist can't do that. You need someone who's actually a vet. Remember, there is a difference between just someone who's an equine dentist and a vet that is actually a specialist in equine dentistry. Two different things. Okay, so it's completely okay to use someone who specializes in equine dentistry who's also a vet. Because if you have a really large horse community, someone who specializes might be the way to go because he'll have so much experience. So definitely look into that. Apparently hi, Houdini. Going for a journey. That's fantastic. Hi. Houdini's going for a walk. We're not even gonna worry about it. Don't worry about it. Houdini's just, going for a ride. So, yeah. So if you do get to pick between a vet and an equine dentist, I am going to recommend the vet. They may be a little more expensive than the equine dentist. It's worth it. Do not take the cheap route when it comes to your horse. Yeah. Pony ride for the chicken. Do not take the cheap route when it comes to your horse's teeth. You definitely want your horse to have the best dental care possible. Over here, he's just pooping. We don't want to record him pooping. It's rude. So, we're going to record Arwen. That's the pooping corner. So, yeah. Here's Arwen hanging out with all her little buddies. Anyway, so if you do get to pick between an equine dentist and a vet, pick the vet. I will only let a qualified vet touch my mini horse and his teeth. We're not playing around. He doesn't have to have it done very often. So because he doesn't have to have it done very often, it's totally fine if it's a vet who does it, because he's only had to have it done once in 6 years. So if he doesn't have to have it done for another 6 years, then by then he's like 12. So we're not going to worry about it too much. But definitely have those teeth floated if they need to be. Your vet might tell you don't need to get their pony's teeth floated yet. That's fine too. That's actually excellent. So don't worry about it if you don't need it done. Have your vet check Have the vet check at your yearly visit when he comes out and checks your pony over. Have him take a look at those teeth. See if they need to be floated. If they don't, free pass. You don't need to do it. Do it only when the vet tells you it needs to be done. Because if it doesn't need to be done, then you shouldn't do it. You don't want to wear away more teeth than necessary. And not all ponies have to have it done very often. Because maybe your horse's teeth are wearing down better than another horse's. That's okay. So get the vet out. Have them look at the teeth once a year. If they need to be floated, do it. If they don't, you can skip it. Anyway, that was about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. Get those teeth floated before they become a problem. It's really not fun to have mouth pain. We know that. Humans don't like mouth pain either. We'll see you tomorrow.